This is a street corner in St. Louis, Missouri. In a moment, you are about to witness an accident. Someone will be injured. Someone will be at fault. Perhaps both parties will be at fault. It will be up to you to decide. Action at Law. KETC, in cooperation with the Bar Association of St. Louis, presents Action at Law, a series of 5 dramatic documents on the trial of an automobile accident case, produced for the Educational Television and Radio Center. The commentator is Milton D. Green, Dean of the Law School, Washington University. This is document number 1, the accident.
Welcome to Action at Law, the trial of a lawsuit. I'm Milton Green, your commentator on this Bar Association series. Have you ever wondered what you would do if you were involved in an automobile accident? Would you do and say things that might boomerang against you in a lawsuit? How would you go about getting a lawyer? What would he charge? What would he do for you? What are your legal rights? Action at Law will undertake to answer these and other questions. In this series of 5 programs, we're going to dramatize an automobile accident case from the very impact of the collision on through the trial and the verdict of a jury. In the great majority of trials in the courts of America, they are concerned not with criminal cases, but with civil cases, such as this automobile accident case, and disputes over business contracts, property, wills, marriage, and divorce. In a democracy, the courts of justice are always open to a citizen who feels that he has a grievance against someone. You are entitled to your day in court, and so is your adversary. We hope that in this series, you will gain not only a better understanding of your legal rights, but also an understanding of what the law is and how it operates to ensure a fair trial. And now to the scene of the accident. This is the intersection of Wheeler Street and Sutton Avenue. It was here that an 11-year-old girl, Judy Martin, was struck by an automobile being driven by Alfred Sharp, a used car dealer. At the trial, each told a different version of how the accident happened. Suppose you were in the jury box. Would you be able to spot the differences? Would you be able to determine who was at fault?
Will you give us your name, please?
Judy Martin.
How old are you, Judy?
11.
And where do you live?
1452 Miller Street.
Do you live with your parents?
Yes.
What is your father's name, Judy?
Frank Martin.
What kind of work does he do?
He works in an office.
And your mother's name?
Helen Martin.
Judy, can you tell us whether or not you were involved in an accident sometime on September 29th of last year?
Yes, I think that was the day.
Where did that accident happen?
It happened near the corner of Wheeler and Sutton Avenue.
Could you tell us, Judy, what time the accident took place?
The afternoon, about 5.
Where were you going at the time of the accident?
My mother sent me to get some milk.
You were coming from home?
Yes,
And you were going where?
to the grocery store on the next block.
Is the grocery store on the corner of Wheeler Street and Sutton Avenue?
Yes,
And you would have to cross Wheeler Street to get to the store. Is that correct?
yes.
Do you know what other buildings are on the corner of Wheeler and Sutton?
I think there's a gas station.
Now, what street were you on when you were headed for the grocery store?
I was walking on Sutton Avenue.
Well, Judy, what happened when you arrived at the intersection?
I stopped at the curb before crossing.
Were you in or out of the crosswalk, across Wheeler Street?
I was in the crosswalk.
What did you do next?
I looked up and down Wheeler Street to see if any cars were coming.
Did you see any cars coming?
No.
What did you do next?
I started across Wheeler Street. In the middle, I looked right again.
Any cars coming?
No.
Then what happened?
I saw this big car. It hit me.
After the accident, Judy, did you get up by yourself or did anyone help you?
I got up by myself.
Now, after you got up, did you see the man who was driving the car?
Yes. He asked me where I lived and my name.
Did you tell him that?
Yes.
Did he say anything else to you?
He said his name was Sharp and wanted to take me in his car to the doctor's offices. I wouldn't let him.
Did you stay at the scene of the accident with Mr. Sharp?
No. I got scared and ran away.
State your name, please.
Sharp, Alfred Sharp, S-H-A-R-P,
Where do you live?
at number 5 Westerfield Apartments.
What is your occupation?
I got a used car business.
Mr. Sharp, on September 29th of last year, were you involved in an accident?
Yes, sir. It was September the 29th between 4:55 and 5 p.m.
You were driving an automobile at that time?
That's right. I own a 1951 Packard convertible.
And where did this accident occur?
Well, this kid ran into my car near the intersection of Wheeler Street and Sutton Avenue.
Now, what were you doing at the intersection at that time?
Well, I'd stopped at the filling station to get some gas.
That's the filling station on the southwest corner of Wheeler and Sutton.
Correct?
Now, Mr. Sharp, on leaving the filling station, which way did you go?
Well, I decided not to buck the heavy traffic on Sutton, so I took a right at the far exit on Wheeler Street.
In what direction were you then proceeding?
Well, I was proceeding east on Wheeler Street, heading toward the intersection.
Well, what happened when you reached the intersection?
I stopped
Are there stop signs?
on all 4 corners.
A four-way stop.
Yes, sir.
Did you then proceed across the intersection?
No, you can't do that. Well, man, the traffic on Sutton is too heavy at that time of the day. You just got to inch your way across slowly.
Uh-huh. Well, what was the traffic like on Wheeler?
It's narrow, and with cars parked on both sides like they were, and a car coming the other way, well, you just got to keep your eyes open.
Would you tell us how the accident happened?
I inched across one lane, and I stopped again at the center line to let a northbound car pass by. Then I started up. Well, the front of my car was about 8 feet past the crosswalk, going about 8 miles an hour, when this girl shot out of nowhere to the side in front of me. I slammed on my brakes. I stopped dead in my tracks, but she was running so hard, she ran into my left front fender.
What did you do then?
Well, I got out of the car. I ran around to the front. I asked her if she was hurt. She said no and started crying. I don't want my mother to know about it. I noticed she scraped her knee. So, well, I wanted her to go to the doctor, and she said, no, I'm all right.
Did you get her name and address?
Yeah, but then Mrs. Reynolds, that's the driver of the oncoming car, and other people started to crowd around. And in all the confusion, the kid broke away and ran down the street.
Mr. Sharp, when and where did you next see Judy Martin?
Well, I guess it must have been about an hour later. The police officer and I took her over to we took her to the Valley Hospital Emergency Department.
And what happened there?
Well, the doctor over there bandaged her right elbow and foot, and he put a dressing on her left knee. Oh, he also took some x-rays.
Who notified the police?
Well, right after the accident, I went to the police station and reported it. You see, a police officer came with us to the hospital, and he made some notes on the accident.
Mm-hmm. Did Judy Martin stay at the hospital?
No, she didn't. After she was treated, they let her go home with her mother.
Well, we now know the plaintiff's and the defendant's version of the accident and the events immediately afterward. The evidence is confusing and contradictory. He says the traffic was heavy. She saw very few cars. She says she was in the middle of the crosswalk. He places her 8 feet outside of it. He says she was running. She says she was walking. They both say that neither saw the other until the instant of the impact. Where does the truth lie? Well, there are 2 sides to every lawsuit. And usually, each side honestly believes that its version of the facts is the truth. But in an action at law, it is the function of the jury to sift the truth from the testimony of all of the witnesses. The decision to bring suit is usually a difficult one for most persons. In this case, the case of Judy Martin and her parents, the decision was delayed.
Mommy!
What is it, dear?
Oh, Mommy.
Oh,
He hit
there. Everything's all right.
The car was so big and right on top of me.
Oh, you had quite a scare, didn't you, kitten?
It was so dark in here. I don't like the dark. Where's Daddy?
He's home, Judy. He's in the kitchen talking to Uncle Eddie.
About the accident?
Yes, about the accident and other things.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't.
Oh, of course it wasn't. Now, you lie back and rest.
You won't leave me, promise?
I promise. Now, go to sleep, Judy. Honey, do you remember a long time ago when you were a very little girl, we used to play a game together? I'd sing and you'd close your eyes. Well, let's play it now, shall we? Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, my little kitten. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, my little kitten.
What's the matter with you, Frank? Your little girl's limping, she's in there having nightmares, and you mean to tell me you don't want to talk about the accident? You're not making sense. You're not even thinking.
Ed, will you please sit down? You're making me nervous with that thing.
Well, of course, advice from me don't count. I'm only your brother-in-law.
Look, Ed, I know you're trying to help, but you don't realize what we've been through these past 2 weeks. We want to forget about the accident. We're just thankful it wasn't something worse. I haven't told you about this, but we've been offered $100 in doctor bills by the adjuster from Sharp's Insurance Company. I think we'll take it.
Settle? You mean to tell me you'd settle even before you know what's wrong with her?
Well, ankle's swollen, she limps, but she'll probably be all right.
You may think she's going to be all right, but do you know?
Well, we've had her to the doctors twice. The x-rays show nothing's broken. It should get better.
Then why does the ankle keep swelling? And why is she still limping?
I don't know why. Those things take time. You can't expect things to heal overnight.
You're whistling in the dark, Frank. I think you're worried, but you won't admit it.
Of course I'm worried. But we've just got to hope for the best.
That's why I want you to see a lawyer. You've got an open and shut case against this used car dealer, Frank.
I don't know enough about the law to know where I stand.
He hit her, didn't he?
Yeah, but he claims she was out of the crosswalk and running. I've told her 100 times. Cross at the corner. Always cross at the corner, honey. That's a good kid in there, Ed.
You don't have to tell me, Frank. Well, I might just be Uncle Ed who comes around on a Sunday for a free meal. But I love that little kid in there.
You should have got married, Ed.
Well, that's another story, Frank. Frank, I'm going to tell you something. Not to scare you, but something you should really consider. I knew a fellow who's in an accident. He came out of it thinking he was going to be okay. So he settles for $150. 1 year later, Wham, he's flat on his back in a hospital with a $1,300 operation. Now, sure, you think Judy's gonna be all right. And I sure hope so. But are you really prepared to say she's going to be all right? Are you ready to take that risk?
Tell you the truth, I don't know.
That's why I want you to see a lawyer. You've got an open and shut case against this fella Sharp.
I can't help it, Ed. I don't want to get involved in a lawsuit. Why, when I go into court even to pay a traffic ticket, I get a sinking feeling in the bottom of my stomach. Oh, I know the courts protect me and all that, but a court is a strange place. How can I put it? They speak a different language. I was never so lost and uncomfortable in all my life as I was in court. And I'm not sure I want Judy to go through that experience.
All that. That's why you've got a lawyer. Why, he's right at home in a courtroom. Here, you're getting the ulcers and he's making his bread and butter. And that's what you're paying him for.
I don't even know how you'd go about getting a lawyer.
I don't know either. I heard one time on the radio you can call the Bar Association.
I wish we had a family lawyer we could talk to. You don't feel like picking a name out of a phone book. You wonder who he is, how much he's going to charge, and court costs.
Frank, I've got it. Kennelly, a neighbor of mine on my block. He had some trouble last year. Well, I could ask him who his lawyer was and if he handles this type of case. How's that?
Yeah, I guess that'd be all right. But remember, I haven't decided anything yet. I want to see if that foot gets better. Then I'll decide.
That's all I'm saying. Play it smart. If there's any trouble ahead for Judy, better this Mr. Sharp pays than you. And he hit her, didn't he?
Well, I think that's just about all the information I'll need, at least for the moment. I'm glad Mr. Kennelly was kind enough to recommend me to you. I had a very nice association with him last year. I understand you've never had a lawyer before.
That is correct, Mr. Winston.
We never had any reason to call a lawyer before.
Well, looking over what you've given me here, I'd say you have a claim you can press, but I've been wondering if you've made up your mind.
Well, it's like this, Mr. Winston. The shoes the doctor prescribed for Judy have helped, but she still limps.
We've talked it over and we've decided to go ahead with the lawsuit.
Well, then I'd be happy to act for you. I'll draw up an agreement and have it ready for you the next time when you come. Now, I suppose you've been wondering about my fee.
Yes, we have been wondering, that is, how much it's going to cost.
Well, then I have good news for you. In this type of case, a negligence matter, most lawyers don't require any fee in advance, but rather take the case on what we call a contingent basis.
Contingent? I'm afraid I don't understand, Mr.
Well,
Winston.
most states allow an attorney to take the case on this contingent basis, which means the lawyer gets a fee from you only if he wins the case.
That is good news.
Well, his fee is contingent on winning and is a percentage of the amount recovered. Of course, now, there will be other expenses that you will have to pay.
I thought it was too good to be true. What kind of expenses?
Well, like doctor bills and the cost of photographs of the actual scene of the accident. Then there are some expenses which we can get back from the defendant if we win or settle the case. Things like court costs and the costs of getting sworn statements from the defendant and others.
I see.
Mr. Winston, one thing has troubled me. Have we hurt Judy's case by delaying so long in coming to see a lawyer?
Well, I wouldn't worry about that, Mrs. Martin, but it is true that the faster you act in gaining legal advice, the better chance you have to help yourself. Now, if you had come to me immediately after the accident, I could have done some things which would have helped. Now, these things can still be done, but it'll be a little tougher.
What sort of things, Mr. Winston?
Well, like taking proper photographs of the scene of the accident. In this way, we could obtain as close a record as possible as to the actual conditions at the time. And then later, we could show the photos to a jury to help them understand what the story is about. You see, our main problem now lies in finding out who was present at the time of the accident, getting their statements, and then putting them all together in a reconstruction of the facts. Now, here again, the sooner you can obtain the statements of witnesses, the more accurate they're liable to be. By that I mean they might remember small details which may very often be important. As you know, people are busy and they're likely to forget these small details after a couple of days. But these things can still be done.
Well, what can we do to help, Mr. Winston?
Well, first of all, you've got to tell me everything that you know about the accident. I've got to have the facts that help and those that hurt our case. You see, essentially, we have to prove two things in court. First, that she sustained some injury, and second, that the driver of the car was negligent in causing the accident.
Well, we'll certainly tell you everything we know.
We want to help.
Good. And remember, anything you tell me as your lawyer will be held in the strictest confidence.
This is the office of the clerk of the Circuit Court of the City of St. Louis. In a moment, the attorney, Mr. Winston, will be here to file his suit. It is the duty of the clerk to keep the records and the files of the court, and also an accurate set of books. It is here that a lawsuit really has its beginning. The filing of the suit is the first step in a process which will place the case on the trial court calendar. I see Mr. Winston is here. Shall we go over and chat with him a bit? Pardon me, Mr. Winston. I wonder if I could bother you.
Certainly.
We're doing a TV series on the way the law operates in a civil action, and I wonder if you'd be kind enough to tell us what you're doing here in the clerk's office?
Well, I'm filing suit for my client, Judy Martin, in a personal injury action. I have a petition or complaint here. Now, it charges the defendant, Alfred Sharp, with negligence in causing injury to the plaintiff in an accident on September 29th of last year.
How much damages are you asking?
Well, the petition prays for damages of $6,500 and court costs.
And you now are planning to file this suit?
Yes, that's correct. I have a check here for $54. That's $4 to cover the filing fee and $50 deposit toward court costs.
Well, thank you very much, sir. We don't want to hold you up.
That's perfectly all right.
And now for the story of how the defendant gets notice of the suit. We're going to have to telescope time a little bit and walk across the hall to the sheriff's office, where we will meet Deputy Sheriff Anthony Ferrone. Pardon me, Mr. Ferrone. I wonder if I could bother you and ask...
First of all, Dean Green, do the people out there know that you and I have already talked?
Yes, I think they know about it.
And they also realize that clerical matters take a good deal of time.
Yes, they realize we're taking a shortcut.
Now, you want me to explain how we here in the sheriff's office enter into the case of Martin versus Sharp.
That's right.
All right. I have here a summons issued by the clerk's office. Now, along with this summons, I have a copy of the original petition or complaint. Now, it's my job to serve this petition and summons on the person of the defendant.
And what does that entail?
Well, the law allows me to usually deliver it to his home, but most often, we're supposed to give it to him in person. So that entails being dead sure that we've got the right man. You see, in this summons, the defendant is ordered to answer the plaintiff's petition within 30 days after this summons is served. If not, a default judgment is issued against him. So you see, we've got to be pretty careful.
By the way, approximately how many summons have you served personally?
Oh, gosh, I don't know, probably between 2,000 and 3,000. See, I've been doing this for 12 years now.
It's a long time. Do you ever run into any trouble?
Oh, people don't like to take them, but they usually do, you know. I've had some pretty interesting cases, though.
Would you mind telling us about them?
Oh, let's see. Once I had to put on a delivery boy's cap and carry some flowers to an opera singer to deliver a summons. I went in and I asked her name. She got the flowers and the summons. Then, I know one that you might be interested in. I followed a salesman around for about 3 days. Never could get him to answer to his name, so I couldn't be sure. So one night up at his hotel, I got a stepladder. Went up, climbed the stepladder, looked into the transom, and there he was lying in bed reading a book. I said, "Harry Applegate?" He looked up real surprised. Said, "Yes." So I took that summons and I tossed it right in through the transom and hit him in bed. You know, people think that this is an easy job, but it's not always that way. We run into a great many problems in this business.
When are you going to serve the papers on Mr. Sharp?
The used car dealer?
Yes.
This afternoon. I've got 3 to go.
Do you expect any trouble with him?
No, I really don't. You know, in the petition, the plaintiff prays for judgment. Sometimes those prayers are answered, sometimes not. All we do is serve the summons and fill out a form to that effect, and then the court is notified about it. So, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'll be seeing you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Summons? Well, this must be a mistake. Well, you know, I filled out all those accident forms 6 months ago. Well, that kid wasn't even hurt. This is all a mistake.
It's no mistake, Mr. Sharp.
Well, that stupid kid ran right out in front of me. I saved her life, and this is the gratitude, the thanks I get. Huh. They try to sue me.
You got trouble, mister. If I was you, I'd call my insurance agent.
No, nobody. I don't have any trouble. They got trouble. I've got facts. I got witnesses.
Well, that about wraps up the first episode of Action at Law. Our lawsuit, Martin against Sharp, is underway. Perhaps you have already come to a conclusion as to who was at fault. If so, perhaps you have some surprises in store for you, for the witnesses are yet to be heard from. We'll get their stories in the next episode of Action at Law. Goodbye till then.
KETC, in cooperation with the Bar Association of St. Louis, has Action at Law. First of 5 dramatic documents on the trial of an automobile accident case. Produced for the Educational Television and Radio Center.
This is National Educational Television.